monthly checks for the low income, why we're likely to see many more of these programs showing up relatively soon. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, monthly checks, otherwise known as guaranteed basic income, specifically focused on the low income. These programs are incredibly popular and they are all over the country right now. So in this video, I want to discuss why we're likely to see many more of these programs showing up in the relatively near future. And with all these programs going on all around the country right now, we continue to see that these are highly effective programs getting cash deposits into the pockets of the low income so these people can spend it on the necessities and everything that they see fit. Let's get into it and discuss all the details and what you need to know. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. As I am your one and only daily advocate, I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue watching all this new information hitting the wire every single day, doing all the necessary research, breaking it all down into these short videos to help you get as much money, benefits, programs, or take advantage of anything else out there right now, as money is incredibly tight for the vast majority of people. And as we continue to get all these new announcements out of the president, the administration, lawmakers, Congress, and everything that Congress is currently working on, including all the bills and packages, proposals and amendments, reform to fixed income benefits, as well as anything in regards to money, checks, programs, stimulus, or anything else out there right now, even including monthly checks and, of course, guaranteed basic income programs all across the country. There's a lot of things that are going on right now, so please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can, as that's my dedication and my commitment, and as always, I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into it and talk about what you need to know in regards to these programs and what we need to watch for over the coming days, weeks, and months, because I can guarantee you these programs are going to be popping up left and right with a lot of different things that are going on. So let me talk you through the details. Here are some of the key factors that we need to take into consideration. First off, in late 2019, so it wasn't even that long ago, guaranteed basic income programs were virtually not even really a thing until Stockton, California hit the map. Well, obviously it's been on the map for a very long time, but the mayor of Stockton, California came out and implemented a new guaranteed basic income program, which essentially sent out ongoing monthly checks with no strings attached for a bunch of people in that area. Well, what they found from this study is that, hey, this is actually highly effective. We're giving money to the low income. The people that need this extra money right now, they're going out and they're spending it on whatever they see fit for their situation. Again, a no strings attached payment, right? Pretty nice. They don't have rules on how you can spend it. They basically just give you the money and say, here, take this money, do whatever you see fit. Buy clothes with it, buy food with it, pay your rent with it, put gas in your car, whatever you see fit. It doesn't really matter. Just spend the money or save it, do whatever you need to do with it. So they found from that program that it was incredibly effective and it actually helped out the low income in a very dramatic way. Well, since then, from late 2019, when that first program was basically implemented here in the United States, until present, we have nearly 100 of these programs all across the country right now that have popped up and either started over the last couple of years and have probably already ended by now, or multiple different of these programs that are popping up all across different states, counties, cities, different areas all across the entire country. Monthly checks going out, usually in the amount of about $500 a month, all the way up to, in some instances, $1,250 a month in some instances. So again, that's a pretty nice little bit of money, right? I mean, just imagine, what would it do to your lifestyle right now if you were getting an extra $500, no strings attached? Somebody just gave you $500 every single month and said, here, do whatever you want with it. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to continue doing this for the next 2 years. Would that change your life a little bit? Oh yeah, it's going to change your life a little bit, right? Especially if you're somebody living on a low income or fixed income, an extra $500 would be a huge percentage of your income already, right? So it would increase your income by a huge percentage, right? Well, that's what they found from all these programs, is that these guaranteed basic income programs all across the country are actually highly effective, and they find that these people are buying the necessities that they need, and it's actually helping people, achieve a lot of other things as well. So it's pretty cool to see the kind of the popularity and, of course, the success with these programs. Now, let me break this down for you because this is interesting and another factor that we need to take into consideration. All right, so right now there are multiple different states, cities, counties, and all kinds of areas all across the country that have these programs implemented right here, right now. There are a lot of people all across the country getting payments right now as we speak. In fact, some of the biggest programs out there right now is the one in Chicago. That's one of the biggest ones out there in the country right now. About 5,000 people are getting $500 checks every single month. Los Angeles has another huge program in Los Angeles. In fact, the state of California has a state-sponsored guaranteed basic income program, and even New Mexico has considered sending out ongoing checks from the state level as well. So we're probably going to see this going on through many more states throughout the future here. So here's what I want to break down to you and let you know what we need to watch for going forward. So, in 2021, early 2021, as a result of the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, embedded within it was $350 billion going out to states. So obviously, we have 50 states, right? Well, as a result of that, each state was going to be getting a different amount based on their population and a variety of different factors. But for the most part, $350 billion is being divvied up between 50 states. Even if we run the calculations, just a little bit conservatively, each state is still going to get billions and billions and billions of dollars. And that's exactly what they got. These states right now are sitting on huge surpluses of cash. In fact, the state of California alone, just as a short time ago with their last release of their budget, they were sitting on $97 billion of cash. That's a record. I mean, seriously, that is unbelievable amounts of money for a state. States generally don't have a ton of money sitting around. Usually states are kind of broke, right? Usually states don't have a whole lot of money. Maybe they have an extra billion laying around, or, based on the populations and tax revenues and stuff like that, states might have a little bit of extra money. For the most part, they don't have a ton. States are sitting on billions of dollars right now. But here's the deal. There's a caveat within the rules and that $350 billion that was distributed by the federal government out to all the 50 states. Guess what? There was a rule written within that money. Here's the rule, or the covenant, right? So it's kind of the parameters around that money. Basically, the rule said this: spend the money, or if you don't spend it by the end of the year 2024, you have to send it back to the federal government. Okay, let me tell you this much. If somebody walked up to you and said, here you go, here's $5 billion. We're going to give you 2 years to spend it, and if you don't spend all of it, you have to send it back to us. Are you going to find a way to spend it? Yeah. Are you going to send any back? I highly doubt it, right? I don't think we're going to spend it. I don't think we're going to send anything back to the party who gave it, because that's just not how the world works. If somebody gives us a bunch of free money, I'm sure we can find a way to spend it. Well, here's the thing. These states are still sitting on tons and tons of cash, and as of right now, a year and a half after they've received it, they're still sitting on billions of dollars of cash. They still have some time to get it out the door, but the fact of the matter is, we're already into it this far, and they're still sitting on all this money, right? Of course, they've spent a little bit, but not nearly as much as they need to. Well, the time is ticking away, and they need to spend this money by the end of the year 2024. And again, I know that that's kind of far away, but realistically, it's not. It's not that far away. And here's the thing. I've been calling on this for a while now and anticipating this, and honestly, we're already seeing it on the state level in a lot of different instances. How many states right now are sending out stimulus checks on the state level? Well, as of right now, the number is 21. 21 different states are sending out stimulus checks on the state level. Why? Is it because they're trying to be nice? No. Well, number one, it's an election year. And number two, because they're sitting on so much money, they don't know what to do with it other than to give it back to the people, because they don't have a clue on how to spend money properly, right? So as a result of that, they're giving it back to the people, which is actually probably a good idea. They should probably do a lot more. But again, we always know how these governments work, is that they give as teeny tiny bit of amount back as they possibly can to make us happy and basically make us quiet, right? We already know this. This is no surprise. We all know how the system works, right? But anyway, as a result of that, within the parameters and what they can do with this money is they can establish guaranteed basic income programs, and they can send it out in the form of stimulus payments to the people of the states. So what does all this break down to? Long story short, the billions and billions of dollars that all these states have, they have to spend it. They're not going to be able to spend all the money that they have because they don't really know what to do with it. Well, as a result of that, they're going to be sending up tons and tons of these pilot programs, the guaranteed basic income programs, all around their states, their cities, their counties, different localities, all around the states that have all these billions of dollars. And they're going to be sending up all of these guaranteed basic income programs. And as the wire gets closer and closer, they're going to continue to send out money in the form of payments, one-time payments, maybe monthly payments, again, guaranteed basic income programs, or whatever else they can see fit as far as establishing new programs for the low income and, of course, anybody set under certain income thresholds. That's what all these programs are based on. So that's where all this is coming from. The states have so much money right now, they don't have a clue on what to do with it, so they eventually will set up all these programs. Now, this is already happening, but again, it takes time. Another thing I want to take into consideration as well. Okay, so let's just say the state has, I don't know, $5 billion, okay? And let's just say that they want to allocate $1 billion of that to a monthly guaranteed, a monthly check program or a guaranteed basic income program. And they're going to choose, say, I don't know. I didn't run the math on this, so honestly, I should have ran the math on this first. But I'm just using an example here. Let's just say that they choose 100,000 people, and they're going to send out $500 checks every single month for 2 years. Well, guess what? It's going to take a long time to do that, right? So if they need to spend $1 billion and they plan on sending out $1 billion across, say, hundreds of thousands or 1 million people or whatever within a state, and they're going to do it over 2 years, guess what? They need to get that program set up now so that as they continue to send out $500 every single month for hundreds of thousands or 1 million people or whatever it happens to be over long periods of time, eventually they'll spend that $1 billion over that 2-year period of time or, whatever the course may be, right? Does that kind of make sense? So even if they have a couple years to go here to spend this money, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, when they come out to these guaranteed basic income programs, they got to establish these soon so they can start sending out those monthly checks. And over long periods of time, a year, 2 years, however long the guaranteed basic income program goes, well then sure enough, there you go. They spent the money that they need to, right? And at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, they will probably get into the kind of the mindset, and they'll get into the situation where they have so much money left over where they have to start doing something. They'll probably start sending out more payments, setting up programs, who knows what, tax rebates, tax credits. They give them all kinds of names. But realistically, at the end of the day, a monthly check, a one-time check, a state stimulus check, it's all the exact same thing. It's virtually a tax rebate. It's a tax credit, right? That's virtually what it always comes down to. So anyway, just a few factors that I wanted to give to you in this video because there's a lot of different moving parts here. And when it comes down to it, the states need to spend billions of dollars. If, again, going back to the example that I gave you, if someone came to you and gave you $1 billion and said, you need to spend this, can you find a way to spend it? Can you give some to your friends? Can you give some to your family members? Can you give some to your neighbors and your acquaintances? Probably, because if you need to spend it, you'll find a way to give it away. And that's what the states have to do too, right? Same thing. Anyway, hope that helps you out. But again, I want to break it down for you and let you know why these guaranteed basic income programs are going to become even more popular here going forward. We continue to see all the success behind these programs, and there's only going to be more and more popping up as we continue to move forward, especially with all these states getting closer and closer to that deadline, as well as all of these state-sponsored stimulus checks, tax rebates, tax credits, whatever you want to call them. Literally, it's the exact same thing, right? So anyway, hope this video helps you out a little bit to give you a better perspective on what's going on and why it's highly likely that monthly checks and or guaranteed basic income programs will be coming up much more aggressively here over the coming days, months, weeks, and of course, the next couple of years here. Anyway, hope you're doing well. Thanks again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one, enjoy, and I hope this explains it a little bit further to understand what is really going on right now. Have a good one. I'll catch you later in the next